Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Thursday, December 23rd, 2021. People, here we go again with the absolutely abysmal economic news. Let's start off with this. So, as you know, every Thursday, we get first-time unemployment claims for the prior week. Well, it came in again at another 205,000. Another 205,000 people have now applied for first-time unemployment benefits. This is a weekly occurrence. Do the math, okay? We also found out a couple of other things here that are, troubling, but not unexpected to you or me. Number one, inflation is surging higher, setting a new record for rising at its fastest pace ever. Okay, imagine Greg Mannarino's shock. I'm so shocked. No, it's not going to stop. I've been explaining this to you. You remember like a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about peak inflation? Peak inflation. You can't make that stuff up. Well, we surpassed the peak. Okay, the talking heads on the mainstream channels, they're pieces of shit. Okay, and what they're doing is lying to you, spreading propaganda. And I'm gonna put another perspective on that for you in just a moment here. We also found out this morning that consumer spending is slowing. Imagine my shock here. Despite the fact that people are borrowing beyond their eyeballs, credit card debt, personal debt, household debt, surging at its fastest pace ever. Again, people trying to keep up with surging inflation. It's impossible to do for the average guy and the average girl. Another 205,000 people last week applying for first-time unemployment benefits, and our economy is booming. This is what they want you to believe. You got to be kidding me. Make it up. Make any of this stuff up. Let me show you something else here. I've mentioned the money velocity for years, okay? You almost won't hear this from anywhere else, and you definitely will not hear about money velocity on the mainstream channels ever, okay? Because again, you must look here, don't look over here, and you got to believe what they're telling you, and it's just all lies. It's out of control. So what is money velocity? Money velocity is the rate at which cash is moving through our economy, or a economy. For an economy to be doing well, the rate at which cash is moving through the economy should be moving higher. Make sense? A booming economy, high money velocity. Okay, this is a chart off the Federal Reserve's website of money velocity. Okay, this is where we are now. We're at an all-time low. We've never been this low with regard to money velocity, or the rate at which cash moves through our economy. Now, without cash moving through the economy, any economy, you cannot have, well, a booming economy or even a functioning economy. This proves that we're in free fall. Our economy is in absolute free fall. I mean, look at that. This is from 1960. We have lower money velocity than every single recession that we have seen since 1960. This is where we are now. 1960. But you will never see this, ever, on the mainstream channels, because again, you must be convinced that what you are seeing is not real. Okay, with that said, let us move forward here. So right now, as I am doing this video blog, despite 3 rounds of more bad economic news, stock futures are slightly higher. All right, what else would you expect in this twisted upside down environment? We got cryptocurrencies right now under a little bit of pressure. Gold and silver catching a bid. 10-year yield relatively stable. Dollar flat. Crude oil about $73 a barrel. I mean, that's where we are, people, okay? Despite the bad economic news, it's not a bad setup for the market here. And that's what this is all about. It's a wealth transfer on an epic scale. It's an elimination of an entire class of people. A debt hyperbubble that I explained yesterday is out of control by design. And when this thing bursts, and it's going to, by design too, don't believe it's going to be by accident. I know you're not that naive. when the debt bubble bursts, it's going to change everything on a scale it's going to make anything that came before it, and I mean anything that has come before it, look like nothing. What does it mean, a meltdown in the debt market? Again, if you understand that everything derives value, I'm talking about assets, derives value from action in the debt market, and nothing makes sense, you can only imagine what this means for the global financial markets. Understand what I'm talking about here. An implosion in the debt market is going to, it's going to be, I can't even speak. It's going to be the most incredible event that is ever going to happen, has ever happened in the history of the world. That's the truth, because it's going to change the entire financial landscape. And at the same time, we're going to see, there's absolutely no doubt about it, a massive global loss of human life. It's going to coordinate together again. If we're not borrowing from the future just to sustain where we are, if we're unable to do that when the debt bubble bursts, you want to talk about, there'll be empty shelves. They will not be able to be restocked. We'll have a credit freeze, which means you won't be able to have access to any of your cash. ATMs won't work. Bank accounts will be zero, okay, because there's no money in there anyway. Again, you all know about the fractional reserve system, right? You put $1,000 in the bank, only 10% of it is in your account. The rest of it is not there. So, all those digits on a screen, that's all they are. They don't mean a damn thing. And again, with regard to resources, when the debt bubble pops, and it will burst at one point, resources will become unavailable. Just basic necessities will become unavailable. And we are going to see, again, why do you think, for example, they're pushing all this control on us right now? It's a setup for what is coming. They understand what's coming. They need more control, more people to submit to control. Because when this happens, we're going to see martial law around the world. People will be in the streets eating each other. I can't tell you how big this event is going to be when the debt bubble bursts. Again, imagine people not being able to attain basic resources. We can't borrow anymore. Everything stops. Businesses stop functioning. That's what's going to happen here on a scale that people are not going to believe. It's going to sweep the entire globe. I've explained to all of you that the debt bubble is a financial Frankenstein. It's a monster, and it's going to swallow the earth when it bursts. Rates are going to spike at an uncontrollable pace. There's no way to stop it. Once that happens, central banks they're powerless to stop anything. They can't buy enough to stop it. I already explained to you that although we have this debt hyper bubble, there's not enough debt to keep the system functioning. It's not sustainable. Okay, we're watching the purchasing power of fiat currencies evaporate. We're seeing inflation surge at its fastest pace in history. Just found out this morning. I've been telling you this for I don't know how long, but if you need more proof, well, the mainstream propaganda ministry is telling you the same thing here. We got money velocity here, people, at an all-time historic low. Okay, our economy is in free fall. No end in sight here. The Fed is determined to finish their end game. You know that. But be prepared. The biggest thing you're ever going to witness in your life, and I believe it's going to happen in our lifetime, of course, is the bursting of the debt bubble. It's going to be epic. It's going to be biblical. I don't know another way to put it. Biblical. And none of this is by accident. It's all by design. It's about creating a new demographic, extreme haves, extreme have-nots, a feudal system, and a depopulation event. A depopulation event. Control. That's what this is all about. More lockdowns, talking about lockdowns. China just went into lockdown again. It's all about control. Nothing is what it seems to be, people. But again, there are millions of people surrendering to this thing. And that's what, they knew would happen. And there are some, you and I, who are the resistance. And we need more people to understand what's happening to them. But the problem is they've been made afraid. And once they're made afraid of one thing, they're lost. Their minds have been controlled. They become zombies. We're surrounded by zombies. The zombie apocalypse is real. You have to understand that. And the propaganda ministry is making sure it stays in the forefront of people's minds here, distracting them from what they should be paying attention to, which is the debt hyper bubble, which is going to lead to I don't want to say an extinction event, but when that bubble bursts, it's going to wipe out a large percentage of the population of the world because resources would become unavailable. And people are going to go into some kind of survival mode. You understand? It's going to be a moment in history that I really wish we did not have to witness, but we're going to at one particular time. But for now, people, for now we're gonna stay on our current trajectory, trying to capitalize on these markets at the same time, preparing for what's coming down the pike. Look, I'm not the right guy to be speaking to with regard to what people should be doing, but I do believe people need to be ready for when it does happen, because you always have to have the high ground. It's not sustainable right now. And looking at the money velocity chart I just showed you, the fact that our economy is in free fall and the propaganda ministry is trying to tell you the polar opposite, well, that should tell you something as well. I just want you to be ready for whatever comes, okay? And, band together with like-minded people. People on this blog, try to make friends with each other. Go to the chat room on my website, traderschoice.net. Get together with more like-minded people. Yeah, sure. These markets are a game, and I like to play it. I really do. I like to be in here, moving money around, trying to, capitalize on all this. It's a challenge for me. I like to stay on top of it, as you all know. But we can't lose sight of what's coming, and it's a monster. A financial Frankenstein is going to be unleashed on the world in an epic way, people, when that debt bubble bursts. It's going to change everything. Just think of what it would mean for you if all of a sudden, let's say, for example, rates start spiking uncontrollably. The Fed, other central banks try to make up the difference. The currency will evaporate. You're going to see inflation surge. You probably will see hyperinflation. You will see the stock market crater faster than it ever has in history, probably losing 70-80% of its value. Expect a credit freeze to happen, a complete lockup of the financial system. Funds will become unavailable. Debit cards will not work. Credit cards won't work. Nothing. Stores will be cleaned out with no way to restock the stores. Everything will just stop. What does it mean for you? Because this event is going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen, because this entire thing is building up to a climax that I'd be willing to bet that 90% of the people, number one, have no idea that's coming. Number two, are not prepared for. And so I want you to be ready for it. All right, people, look, I'm out of here. Please share the video. Let's watch these markets today. Let's see what happens. Like I said, it's relatively flat open for assets across the board this morning. But anyway, that's where we are. I'll see all of you at the end of the day, and that's it.